welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Fidelia Aguncha. Barely 12 hours after President Muhammadu Buhari's visit to the state, suspected herdsmen on Friday attacked the Zarubo community of Basa local government area in Plateau State. 5 persons are believed to have been killed in the attack, which is yet to be confirmed by police officials in the state. It came less than a day since President Muhammadu Buhari visited the state as part of his tour of states affected by the farmers' headers crisis. During his visit, the president launched a 5-year roadmap to peace in the state in a meeting with stakeholders. He also pledged to ensure the security of lives and properties of all Nigerians. The president is also expected to visit Benue State on Monday as part of tour of states affected by insecurity crisis. As a result of his visit, the state government has cancelled a planned mass burial for victims of herders' attack in the state. The burial for the 24 victims was scheduled for Friday, March 16, but that has now been cancelled. President Buhari is also expected to visit Yobe and Rivers State during his tour. 1 week after a deadly Boko Haram attack in Ran community, Borno State, the police have finally confirmed 10 security officials were killed in that attack. The UN had said 8 security officials were killed in last Friday's attack, along with 3 humanitarian workers, but the police has given a much higher death toll for security officials. According to the State Police Commissioner Damian Chukwu, 6 soldiers and 4 policemen were killed by the insurgents. The attack by the insurgents have also forced the United Nations and the Doctors Without Borders to suspend humanitarian works in the community. Chukwu, however, vowed to ensure that the attack does not repeat itself and issued a 21-day ultimatum for residents with illegal arms to surrender their weapon or risk arrest and prosecution. As part of activities to mark the 2018 International Women's Day, parents of abducted Dapchi school girls staged a protest in Abuja, the nation's capital, demanding the rescue of their daughters. It's been 18 days since 110 girls were abducted from their school in Dapchi local government area, Yobe State, by suspected Boko Haram insurgents. Family members of the abducted schoolgirls, accompanied by other Dapchi villagers on Thursday, marched the streets of the federal capital, bearing banners and placards with various inscriptions. They want the government to intensify efforts geared towards the rescue of the girls aged between 11 and 19.
An injury to one is an injury to all. It's a collective tragedy. John Pepper Clark decades ago said we are all casualties. And the casualties are not only those who are dead. So today, the casualties are not only the daughters who are abducted. The casualties are not only the parents of Dapchi. The casualties are every one of us, directly or indirectly.
Men there for Nigeria, they know they pick me up there. Now only women, small children, women, small children. We get Senate, women for the National Assembly. They can talk, anybody can hear. Because of men, then they fight to their rights. Women, they can fight for us. Because this thing done too much.
I have 3 daughters in that adoption from Dapchi Government Secondary School, Dapchi. We came here purposely for the National Women's Day, in respect of to throw our crying to the Senate or the government to go and find our daughters in that area. What as now we have 15 days ago, we didn't hear where they are up to now. So please, we are begging. We are not coming here for the criticizing the government. We are coming here putting our crying to the government to assist us to bring back our daughters.
The protesters were attended to by Senator Biodun Olujimi, who assured them that government is determined to bring home the girls safely to continue their education.
Government is working hard to bring back the girls. We know that efforts are in place, but because it's a security issue, there is no one that will come out and announce what is being done. All we need to do as parents, as lovers of Nigeria, is to pray that this Nigeria, this our country, does not divide, that we should remain one indivisible entity, and that as we go along, that God will help us contain insurgency and touch the hearts of insurgents so that they will stop threatening us and stop threatening the lives of our girls. I believe that if we are in prayers and we allow government and security agencies to do their work, they will come back hale and hearty.
Meanwhile, as part of efforts to locate the missing girls, the Nigerian police has deployed the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of operations, Habila Joshak, to Yobe State. This follows President Muhammadu Buhari's directive for security agencies to urgently ensure the recovery of the abducted girls. While in the state, the DIG is expected to meet and strengthen synergy with other stakeholders to ensure the success of the directive. He is also expected to deal with other security threats in the state. Defense correspondents have been urged to acquaint themselves with the needed skills to give effective, accurate, and quality reportage of the Nigerian military. The advice was given at the Enlightenment Workshop for Defense Correspondents held at the MD Omar Blue Room of the Nigerian Air Force in Abuja. Air Vice Marshal Olatokunbo Adesonya reminded the Nigerian media of their role as partners in stemming the tide of insecurity in the country, just as he insisted that the quality of their news reports must be such that will embolden and encourage the troops at the theater of war.
The military and the media are actually partners, but unfortunately, there are some who do not realize that it is a partnership that must work at every point in time. The media, if the media is taken away from national development, there will be crisis. No, because the media serves as the conscience of the people, and we are quite mindful of this. But in being the conscience of the people, then the reportage must also be true, must be credible, must be verifiable. And that is why we also try as much as possible, while not claiming perfection, we try as much as possible to make known those things that we are doing.
Information management in today's world is critical to national development, and the way it is processed could affect national security positively or negatively. Accordingly, a defense correspondent must therefore understand and indeed know the terminologies associated with his bid to enable him report events.
The Nigerian military has pledged its unalloyed loyalty to President Muhammadu Buhari. The military, in a statement signed by its spokesperson, Brigadier General John Ajim, was reacting to statement by the Senate Deputy President Ike Ekweremadu, suggesting that the military was ready to take over Nigeria's democracy. Ekweremadu had described Nigeria's democracy as receding, adding that the military may take over if the trend continues. However, the military, in a swift reaction, has insisted it is not interested in politics and also assured the international community of its commitment to defending Nigeria's democracy. The Nigeria police on Thursday laid siege at the head office of the Peace Corps of Nigeria in Abuja. The office was shut and taken over by the police since February 28, 2017, the day the building was officially commissioned. The Peace Corps of Nigeria was advised to leave the premises by the police, who gave no reason for that, but members of the Peace Corps refused, chanting songs and displaying placards in protest to what they describe as police lawlessness. It has been more than a year that this building was shut by the Nigeria police. Since then, both the Peace Corps of Nigeria and the police have been at loggerheads. It was a case that has put the Nigeria police force on the spotlight. The Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, has been accused of ignoring court orders asking the police to vacate the building, and a letter written from the Office of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Ibrahim Malami, that the court orders be complied with. The House of Representatives have also asked the Peace Corps to take over their office, but this was the situation when the Peace Corps attempted to resume on Thursday.
Based on what they submitted before the court, to secure here, but not sealing. So we'll continue to pray that the IG allow them to continue to secure the property and our life here. because we have taken possession of our office and will continue to operate from here. So we are not here to fight police. We are not here to insult them, but we are appealing to them now that we have taken possession in line with 2 Federal High Court judgments. And the order of the House of Representatives will continue to appreciate them to man their van with their arm and be protecting us and our property here.
The commandant says the property has not only been vandalized, but also looted while it was under the watch of the police force. The number of police officers around the premises started increasing, with armed mobile men arriving in different detachments.
Let's go inside. Right from the right side of the gate, the moment you enter, you see reason to close or to cover your nose. That is one. They have made the whole place up by defecating in the whole compound. Furthermore, go to the extreme part of the fence. They have vandalized it, and upon entering the building, we enter with some of your men. Many things have been stolen out of the building. So, not just uniform, even the furniture and the medical department, some of the medical equipment there, just like for first aid and all of that, they have stolen all of those things. So it is quite embarrassing.
When all efforts to make the Peace Corps leave their premises failed, it became a waiting game between the police and the Corps, as both parties stood at different positions, waiting for who will blink first. Meanwhile, lawmakers in Nigeria's House of Representatives have resolved to look at the Peace Corps bill and consider reasons given by President Muhammadu Buhari for not signing it. The House will also consider another 21 bills yet to be assented to by the President. The 22 bills, including the Peace Corps bill, were either rejected or not responded to by the President. Nigeria will host a meeting of African tourism ministers from June 4th to 6, 2018. The meeting, which is on the invitation of the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, will coincide with the UN World Tourism Organization Commission for Africa, also scheduled to hold in Abuja. Mohammed personally extended the invitation to the ministers at a meeting held on the sidelines of the ongoing International Travel Trade Fair in Berlin, Germany, on Thursday. The 3 major unions in Nigeria's university sector, the Non-Academic Staff Union NASU, Senior Staff Association of Nigeria Universities SANU, and National Association of Academic Technologists NAT, staged a protest to the Ministry of Education to press home their demands. The 3 unions, who had been on strike since December 2017, are asking the federal government to pay their accumulated earned allowances. Recall over 2,000 workforce of the university staff schools that were disengaged and honor the National Industrial Court judgment. The rally took off from the Unity Fountain to the Federal Ministry of Education, where the protesters forced their way into the ministry. The protest was joined by the president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Comrade Ayuba Waba.
This is time for us to tell the Nigerian people that impunity, injustice, and corruption in the Nigerian university sector shall come to an end. We have to tell the government to take the action that is needful to sanitize our university system. Enough is enough. Enough of impunity, enough of corruption, enough of injustice. We all belong to Nigeria. We are all Nigerians. We belong to Nigerian universities. Can somebody ask why our graduates for years now are not employable? Has somebody asked? Upon all the money that has been sunk into the university sector, there is no improvement. Government has set up visitation panels to various universities. These panels turned up their reports. Government is sitting on this report. You cannot be doing the same thing and expect a different result. Is it possible? Is it possible? No. We are calling on government to do the needful.
People to get only 10 people to register to vote, 10 new voters. Each of us standing here today, when you get back home, when you get to your place of work, your school, try and get 10 new people that do not have their PPC to register to vote. We're going to take on our website one voice onevoice.ng. Please go there, give us the information. If you get 10 people to vote, then you're amongst us.
So at least start with your voter's card and begin to use that to bargain about the type of person you want to see on February 16, 2019 and March 2nd on the ballot paper.
So we want to focus on people who haven't voted before. It's 100,000 people who are looking to pledge that because that gives us a minimum of 1 million new voters.
Instead of to say, oh, my vote no go count now. Try vote first, then you see whether it will count, you know.
Corruption not in my country.
Mr. John! Mr. John! What is it now?
What is it now?
Please turn down the volume of your music. It's too loud.
And how is that your business?
It is disturbing me. I can't sleep.
And the same way you are disturbing my right to good music and where I enjoy it. Eh? What's wrong with you? You didn't that person complaining.
Maybe we thought that you have lost your mind. Are you having a party?
I'm just respecting you, sir. You remember I paid my husband too.
You will not understand why we are complaining because you do not care about other people except yourself. Look, the transformation we need in this country begins in this compound.
Yes, now.
From you, and I. This, your selfishness is an offshoot of corruption. And corruption, not in my country. You know, go to your bank. Go.
Corruption not in my country.
Glad to have you back. The Nigerian government has set up new boards of 4 parastatals under the Ministry of Finance. The boards include the National Insurance Commission (NICOM), Nigeria Customs Service, Nigeria Export-Import Bank (NEXIM), and the Agricultural Credit Guarantee Scheme (ACGS). At a brief inauguration ceremony in Abuja, the Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, urged the newly constituted board members to reposition the financial service sector as a means of developing the Nigerian economy.
And it's pertinent to state that the mandates of NICOM, NEXIM and Customs Service revolve around the 5 pillars of the ERGP and the various executive orders. We must not fail to acknowledge that Nigeria is endowed with abundant natural and human resources whose potential, if adequately and efficiently harnessed, will strengthen our public finances. Consequently, I urge you to take pragmatic steps to reposition the respective institutions entrusted to you and drive enhanced performance through efficient management of accrued resources for national development. The fall in oil price, which ushered in the recession, has negatively impacted our revenue and expenditure projections, but we have exited the recession and are now positioning ourselves for growth. And therefore, it's a clarion call for each of you in the various institutions you are being charged with to drive the progress of those institutions.
We are aware that the assignment before us is a colossal task, but with shared responsibility and collectiveness, dedication, commitment, and political will, we are sure we will surmount all the challenges. We accept our appointments to the governing boards of these institutions and pledge our unalloyed loyalty to the federal government in its drive towards elevating the Nigerian economy to the higher level by ensuring that these various agencies deliver on their primary mandate and responsibilities. I assure you that we shall not betray this trust that has been reposed on us. I therefore seek the support, prayers, and contribution of all stakeholders as we embark on this remarkable journey of overseeing the affairs of one of the most important sectors of the Nigerian economy.
The House of Representatives has dared Kayode Fayemi, Minister of Mines and Steel Development, to proceed with the concession of the Ajaokuta steel plant. On Thursday, Fayemi said the federal government had no plan to spend another dime on the steel plant and that it would go ahead with the concession plan despite the opposition from the House of Representatives. Fayemi also accused the lawmakers of unjustly attacking officials of the ministry, saying the National Assembly approved the concession in 2017. After months of mutual hostility, North Korea leader Kim Jong-un has agreed to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said it would take some weeks to set up a meeting due to take place by April. Trump hailed great progress but said sanctions would remain in place. South Korea envoys had earlier briefed Trump on the meeting they had this week with Kim, saying he was now committed to denuclearization. Kenya's president and opposition leader have promised to begin a process of reconciliation following last year's bitterly contested election. Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga spoke on national TV after holding their first public meeting since the poll. About 150 people were killed in the aftermath of the disputed election. Earlier this year, Odinga swore himself in as the people's president, and refused to recognize election winner Kenyatta as head of state. Until now, both had dismissed all calls for talks by Kenyans and foreign diplomats. Moving on to sports now, Nigeria Super Falconets have been drawn in Group D for the Under-20 Women World Cup that will hold in France this August. They will battle Germany, China, and Haiti to get to the quarterfinal of the tournament. Their first match will be against Germany on August 6th. Nigeria's best outing in the competition is a second-place finish in the 2010 and 2014 editions. Thousands of fans and representatives of every Serie A clubs gathered in Florence on Thursday for the funeral of Fiorentina captain David Astori. The Italy international defender died at the age of 31 on Sunday after a sudden illness. Members of the Juventus squad that beat Tottenham on Wednesday night were in attendance, including Italy's national team captain Gianluigi Buffon. Astori, who won 14 capos for the Italian national team, was buried in Bergamo, where he grew up and his parents still live. Serena Williams shook off the rust from a 15-month layoff due to pregnancy to win her opening match at the WTA Indian Wells event with a 7-5, 6-3 victory over Zarina Diaz. The unseeded Williams was the top-ranked player in the world when she began her long layoff following her victory at the 2017 Australian Open, where she was already expecting daughter Alexis Olympia, who was born in September. The 36-year-old American is a star attraction in Indian Wells. Well, that's it on news now. Thanks for watching. I am Fidelia Aguncha.